Did you see Odell Beckham last night or 2 nights ago handing out the cash to the players in the NCAA?
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys play NCAA sports?
Yeah.
It's not allowed, is it? If Johnny T were to come down and start throwing around Benjamins to you guys?
I don't know where that line is crossed. If it's after the game and the seniors are no longer
It'd be greatly appreciated.
college athletes, but I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I know you can still get drug tested after like the national championship game, but I don't. So I don't. Maybe the rules still apply. I don't know.
I've heard of guys.
So tell me what was going on. He just
Basically what I said.
started throwing out cash to the boys.
Like a stack of Benjamins, I guess, and was just walking up to players, dapping them up, and
They
handing
better
it
be.
to
They
them.
better be Benjamins.
Yeah,
And
I wouldn't. I'd assume they were, especially with Odell Beckham being the way he is, right?
I mean, hey, with the money he makes and he's got, you know what I'm probably thinking is he probably threw a monster bet on LSU, and
for
just
sure,
showed up with like a, what do we call that? Like a per diem bag.
Some gas money.
Here's a bag of per diem, $2,000 for you. How much was he throwing around? Is there any?
No one knows, but
Well, the shame in it all was that he was actually counting it before he was giving it to him. So
certain players are getting more than others.
yeah.
He's like, oh, what number are you? Oh, you're number 1 here. Here's $5,000 for you. Here, backup quarterback. Here's a couple $100.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I know, like, the quarterback was on a different podcast and said that, like, it was 100% real and, like...
Yeah, because there was a
Yeah.
talk about it wasn't real money.
Yeah.
No, Hunter had to be real. So
what are the sanctions for that? Like what?
I
is
guess
he allowed to
we
do
shall
that?
find out.
Yeah. I guess
We
we'll
shall
see.
probably wait and see if anything.
They're going to
if
strip them of
anything
an
comes
extra
of it.
year. They're seniors. They're done, right? So
Well, next thing you know, we hear that LSU is going to be stripped of their national
Yeah.
championship title because of this, right? Then you're just absolutely done for. Before we get into lacrosse, are you guys baseball fans?
not really, no.
I enjoy going to the Jays games, but
So across the board, we're not talking about the cheating scandal that's going
No.
on there either. Riv, I know how much you love baseball down there. Give me another heater. So in studio right now, we have Chase Fraser and Chris Cloutier. Riv, do you know who's who?
Well, they were on. They've both been on at different times. That's
Yeah.
why you definitely look familiar because you're talking to him like you're a long lost buddy. Hey, good to have you back. This guy was on too, and you're like,
Forget
how
about
you
me,
doing?
yeah,
Well, it's
that's
National Hat Day. Did you wear a hat last time?
Probably not last time.
Okay, so maybe that's why I don't recognize you. I'm just joking. How's the season going, guys? I mean, let's get right into it. How's everything going? I'll be quite honest with you. I have no idea.
That's a sick hat, by the way.
You like these ones?
That's a sick hat.
See
Big
that?
fan
That's
of the
what-
mesh backs too. Like it's a good look. I think the mesh back. But,
That's what we call a derail, but it's a good point. It is a sick hat.
season's going well right now. We're 2-1. Just got off probably the worst part of our season with having 2 games in 6 weeks. We had a lot of buys there going, but now we're rolling into a consistent schedule. So we're playing all the time now.
Have you heard, and you probably can't say too much, that the NLL is now, you're allowed to gamble on games?
yeah, we actually just found that out this morning.
This
I was
morning,
sitting
news
out-
this morning.
I
I
was sitting
thought-
out front there, and I looked at my phone, and Twitter said, "Yeah, if we can now bet on games, then that's pretty cool."
Well, I don't know that you can bet. on it.
we
No,
can't.
no,
We can't.
no.
But you guys can. The fans know that.
See, we'll have the baseball thing going on again.
Yeah, don't need no scandal with that.
Yeah, I don't know that you guys can actually bet on games, but people can bet on
Yeah.
Bandits games. So, talk to us about the season. I mean, you guys have obviously a score to finish from last year.
Yeah, coming back off of last year, especially with an expansion team, like an expansion draft, we have a whole new team. It seems like, and like he touched on earlier, we kind of were unlucky with the way our games were scheduled. We had 3 bye weeks in a row, and that can kind of make you get a little rusty.
It kills the motivation right there.
But we're going into this stretch of games where we have games every weekend, 2-1, and it's a good place to sit. And I think last game we showed that we're really starting to click. And
You had a tough opponent. You
unit,
beat
yeah.
Georgia. You said.
yeah, Georgia is an outstanding team, definitely one of the front runners. And we went out there and battled, and we beat them 16-10, I believe it was. And
What's your next game?
Toronto this weekend.
And what can you
It's
tell us
90s
about
night.
them?
90s
90s
night.
night.
90s
Yeah.
night this weekend. But they're another really good team. We were saying before that this year it seems like every team is kind of in the loop. Like there are teams that in past years had no business beating some of the teams that they're beating, and every team's like in the running and in the loop, and every game is any.
Now, is
team
that
to
a
win.
tribute just to the league really kind of taking off and the parity in the league? And, why is that?
Yeah, well, it's just I think lacrosse is growing as a sport, and you have kids now, like when parents are starting to realize how hard it is for their kid to actually make it to the NHL, so you want to try a different avenue, and that.
Wait, there are other sports than hockey?
Right? Yeah, exactly. And a lot of those kids are moving over to lacrosse and taking lacrosse up as a full-time sport at a young age, and they're coming. And by the time they get to the age where they can go pro, there's some pretty outstanding talents coming into the league and really making a difference early.
Tell me about the adrenaline that you guys feel going into a game, or maybe none, because when I see you guys play. And Riv, I mean, we've talked about it before. It's a full-on rock fest. There's fighting, there's slashing, there's body checking. I mean, it's borderline. I don't want to say it's dirty. To me, it's one of the toughest sports out there. I know everyone says football has hard hitting and hockey is hard hitting, but I think if you like violence and you like entertainment and you like goals, this is right up your alley. I mean,
Definitely, 100%.
so, I remember watching. You guys can't stand still. Both teams during the national anthem. I mean, and the adrenaline that you'd feel as a player. I know, Riv, you were a lunatic on the ice. I know I had to pretend to be, and it gets you to a point where you're just kind of like all revved up because you know you got to do something.
Yeah.
What's the adrenaline like for you guys and the rest of your team?
Personally, it's really high for me. Like, I'm always jacked up kind of thing before games, standing there, like the national anthem's going on, bouncing back and forth kind of thing. And if I'm taking the opening face-offs, like, I'm standing there walking around in circles until the ref blows the whistle to go. And that's like, you're high wired the whole game, right? Until the last buzzer goes. And as soon as the last buzzer goes, everybody feels it. It's just like, everything exerts out of your body, and you're just
the same way, or you kind of strike me as like a silent killer. Like you're just kind of I'm a silent assassin. I'm going to go out there and do my business, and nothing really revs me up.
No, like I definitely have like serious pregame jitters, but for me, as soon as I make the first catch and then make the first pass in the game, then I'm kind of settled down and I'm grounded.
Describe the type of player that you are.
That's a tough question. I would say just
be cocky. Dane's been on the show before, we've had other bandits talk about how great they are.
I get chirped a lot because I came into the league as like a big
guy.
obese guy. Like we talked before, I was 275 this time last year. I'm 240 now, but I have really good hands, which allowed me to be kind of heavivier and
you like down low on the crease and like just stick handling all around everybody.
I'm definitely better inside when near the crease than outside. But this year, after the summer and everything, losing weight, I'm starting to gain confidence outside and going 1-on-1 and stuff like that.
How do you lose that much weight? Is just a lot of running, bike, eating habit?
You got to make life changes, and I'm still not where like my goal is. But this summer, you had Dane and Josh on before, but I lived with those two guys, and they did an unreal job of just like really pushing me this summer and getting in the gym and trying to really make that next step to better myself. And that, of course, for me was fitness.
So was it always easy? Was lacrosse always easy for you?
I wouldn't say easy, but it just when I go out there and I just have fun, and that's when I'm at my best. And when I'm having fun, I'm playing my best, and it seems like it comes easy, but it's definitely not always easy. But it just when you're having fun, it seems easy.
And what about you? What kind of a player are you?
I'd say I like to get into a lot of stuff. I'm everywhere on the floor.
Get into a lot of stuff. Let's stop right there. What does that mean? Are you stirring the pot out there?
I wouldn't say stirring the pot, but
Are you answering to the stirred pot?
A little bit of both kind of thing. So I stir the pot and then I answer to the pot kind of thing. But I'm in there. I like to bang around with the guys, like get guys open and just like contact. I love to get hit. Honestly,
You remind me of Patty Coletta in the game of hockey. He was in it. He was physical. He had the wheels and the things to make things happen offensively too. But he liked to be hit, and he liked to hit.
Yeah, I just like it makes you feel alive, right? When someone lays you out, you're like sitting there like, all right, I'm still alive. Everybody needs to be laid out every once in a while, right?
Yeah, there was always a saying when we played, hit or be hit.
Yeah, kind of thing. And
I think, I mean, when you get hit early, I don't know why a coach ever said hit or be hit. Why even add the be hit? Because sometimes when you get run over early, you're just completely dismantled for the entire game.
sometimes, yeah.
I would go back and say he's definitely a pot stirrer. He started a lot of controversy in the league with some stuff he did last year.
I like that.
We love it. He loves it.
Yeah.
So
My team loves it. The other teams don't. So.
Well, are you the guy? Are you the guy that people would say love to have on your team but hate to play against?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd 100% say that. I've heard that a lot. Heard that a lot.
Now the growth of the NLL. I mean, you talked about expansion. You know, obviously we know that there are teams in many different areas there were before the 90s. And by the way, it's 90s night coming up. It's January 18th, 7 p.m. at KeyBank Center against the Toronto Rock. But have you noticed? Can you feel the growth of the league? I mean, it's easy to say that lacrosse is great in Buffalo because the attendance is always great and the crowd is amazing. Like they know how to engage during the games. But is it kind of feeling like that in all the other markets that you guys are traveling to? Have you felt that same kind of backing from the fan base?
Yes and no. Like obviously, there's going to be those places like every sport has that don't draw as much attendance. But for the most part, like expansion teams are getting way better audiences than we thought they would. Last year, I'm originally was drafted to Philly and then traded here. But Philly's first year back, I think it was like a sold out crowd for the first home opener. So it's definitely growing. Like I said before, like young kids are now starting to grow up wanting to play lacrosse, so that helps too. And I think moving forward with expansion, if that's where this league's going, I think the league's going to do a good job of finding those hotbeds and trying to get teams in those areas. Like, for example, like Baltimore. Baltimore's I think, needs a team.
I think one of the questions I have, would you say a vast majority of the players in your league played field lacrosse in college?
Yep.
Yeah.
We both did.
Yeah.
So,
Do every one of the players come from college?
No.
Like,
No.
what's another way of
Making
getting
it, yeah.
Junior A.
Yeah, for us, the Canadians, we all have like junior leagues we playing back home. Same thing as like the hockey, right? So we'll go through our juniors, and some of these kids are like really good, and they don't need to go to, or not need to go to school, but don't have the decision not to go to school or don't want to go to school, kind of thing. So then they just go play pro. So get drafted at a junior, and it happens. There's guys in the league that are.
So what's the youngest guy in the league?
Probably Austin Stats. I think I don't know his age for sure, but I think he's around 21.
21, yeah.
21.
Where's he from?
He's from Six Nations reservation. He plays for San Diego.
So does he play in that summer league too up in Ontario?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I used to play against Six Nations when I played lacrosse. They're always unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, develop so many great players. The question is, I guess, the transition from field lacrosse to box lacrosse, and why isn't box lacrosse very big in the U.S.? I mean, and maybe it's just because I'm so far removed from it, but I can only recall coming down and playing a couple times on this side of the border in box lacrosse.
Right. Box lacrosse is just something that never really got started in the U.S. Like, kids don't grow up playing box lacrosse. I think it's because the U.S. has that high level of field lacrosse, NCAA field lacrosse, and there's no NCAA box lacrosse, so that's what parents are putting their kids in and trying to get them.
Yeah, I want to make it
field
clear. When I
lacrosse.
say lacrosse players are some of the toughest players, I'm talking box lacrosse, not field lacrosse.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
I want to just make sure that I make that clear. So big game coming up against Toronto on Saturday. Are they a rival? Like, I mean, when people see Toronto Buffalo play in terms of hockey, does that same kind of hatred come because you have, U.S. Canada, you have the QEW, and you just have the proximity?
Yeah, I believe so, especially with how close they are, and a lot of guys on our team are from that Toronto area, right? Or a lot of guys in the league are from that Toronto area. So anytime you really get a chance to play against them, you're trying to.
So who's the rival player on that team? Like you look at the and I'm not trying to get any trash talk going here like Cassian and Matt Kachuk,
Yeah.
but which I don't know if you guys watch hockey or not, but I don't know if you caught that.
A little bit, yeah.
But who would be their guy that you would say is kind of like the pot stirrer? Do they have one, or are they just?
Hostrouser, Bill Hostrouser. He's been in the league for a while. He's a really tough guy. He's one of those guys that when he's playing D on you, he'll let you know he's there. But yeah,
Who's your guy?
who would you say our guy is? Maybe Bryce Sweeting,
Sweets or Snoozer.
or
So
yeah.
there's two, and there's you.
I'm more at the offense's end, but yeah, they're on the D guys. So yeah, did Mitch to Snoo. He's a tough guy, real tough guy. Bryce Sweeting, he's a tough guy too. He's not scared to do anything like that. Those gloves will drop in a heartbeat for him.
Well, I used to come and watch the Bandits back in the old odd, and I got to tell you, there was nothing like it. I mean, I don't know if you guys are way too young to even remember the odd that it was even around, but anybody out there listening to this show knows what I'm talking about, the old Bandits and the Buffalo Odd. Thanks a lot for coming in, boys, and we wish you all the best this year. We'll have to
I
have
want to
you
ask
back.
him one more question.
Please do, because
90s night. 90s night. Does that mean that you're only playing 90s tunes? Because you talk about the Bandits
They
being
used to blare Metallica.
Honestly, if they'd throw
Enter
them-
Sandman would start, and then, they'd get the ball, and then they shut it down when the other team got the ball. When Bandits got it, they'd turn it back up.
If they're playing strictly 90s tunes this weekend, I would love that, honestly. Love the old throwback jams.
Who's your 90s band? What year were you born?
95.
wow. Okay.
So who's your 90s band then? Smash Mouth or like?
Yeah, sure. Go with Smash Mouth.
I was kidding. I was kidding with Smash Mouth. Is that
Where are
all-
you going with that?
With what?
90s bands.
No, Metallica. I think that Enter Sandman,
Nirvana?
the Black
Yeah,
Album,
Nirvana.
Nirvana. I can't remember the songs they used to
Nirvana.
play, but oh man, I think that to me is one of the things that
Stone
makes,
Temple Pilots.
You're really Smashing Pumpkins.
Smashing Pumpkins.
You guys want to get in on this?
I have no idea what you guys are saying.
All right. Well, listen, guys. One thing before you go, Dane and Josh doing the
Dane's World.
Dane's World.
Hey, did you see the flying guitar yesterday?
Oh,
yeah.
You guys watch? Do you rip them on him for that?
All the time, yeah. You gotta let them know they look like a couple goofballs every once in a while. But, hey, yeah.
Do you guys keep?
I don't
that-
think they have any shame, those two guys.
Oh,
no,
no, especially
and
not.
they have fun with it. They like it. It's easy, and in the end, it helps them build their following. So
Yeah.
Well, good luck to you guys. Good luck to them, and we'll be watching on Saturday night, 7 o'clock at KeyBank Center, January 18th. It's the Toronto Rocker in town for 90s night. So it's a rivalry game. Get out there and watch. And I'm telling you, I'm not trying to sell you a bogus promo here. The NLL is the hottest ticket for the price, and you get full-blown entertainment. I mean, you heard they beat the best team 16-10. Imagine we had 26 goals in a hockey game. Riv and I are losing our minds when you see a 6-4 game. You're like, oh my God, this is like Sega scores. And in lacrosse, over 20 goals a game, hits, fights, everything. I encourage everyone to go and watch it and get your kids involved because it's an amazing sport. We'll be right back. Instigators, WGR 550 and MSG.